I always love taking these concepts and having these conversations, but then breaking them down into like the 3D world we live in our regular life, and I know you love this too, because we were talking about like just the simplicity of teachings, and and it doesn't matter whether you know all of this stuff or not, just other than like, can you apply this to your life in a certain way? And I feel like from what you're sharing, it feels just so true to me. I can feel the truth of, we live in this 3D, ego-minded, very I-focused planet. We see this in the divisiveness of our planet, in the divisiveness of our politics, and just like the, us versus them mentality. And also, and you talked about it at the dinner, of like the color spectrum and how we, are like just now, if we're in yellow, the yellow right? chakra, right? We're just now moving into the green, and there's some shades of green, and you can feel it. I mean, we feel it in our communities and the people that we're around. It's like, I can feel the conversations that we have, and like moving into love. And how does someone actually like, okay, I want to support, myself. I want to support this planet and moving in that direction. I guess for me, it's like, how does somebody actually start to apply these teachings in their life in a way that, that is fruitful for them, and also like to the direction that we want to move as a society.
Yeah, this is all that matters to me. Yeah. It's like, how do we live this? How does it benefit us to know this stuff? And, I have a platform called 4D University, which now you know what the 4D stands for. Yeah. It's my way of helping teach people how to graduate to fourth density. And this is a graduation that can happen right now in this lifetime, meaning as long as I'm in this human body, I'm always going to have, Ra calls it a yellow ray vehicle. Every chakra represents the kind of body that you get in that density, because the body has to be as high frequency as the soul is, so it can channel the full consciousness of the soul, right? So the body has to keep up with the evolution of the consciousness. So when you raise your consciousness from the solar plexus to the heart, I call that going from ego-based consciousness to heart-based consciousness. You are a fourth density being living in a third density body. And that's the unique component of third density, which I didn't mention yet, is that this third density plane in all the universe, in any planet in the universe, it's very much kind of like a wild card in the 7 densities, because the third density is the only of the 7 where we have this phenomenon called the veil of forgetting, where souls, when they incarnate onto a third density planet, it's a clean slate wipe. You have no memory at all of where you came from. You have to fully play the human game. And so it's that veil of forgetfulness that we all go through when we incarnate here. And it's that veil that gives us the catalyst we need to evolve and polarize to the positive. Because when you forget that all is one, now you're subject to the world of suffering and pain until you remember that all is one. Yeah. And so it's this catalyst that, like you mentioned, on our planet, our planet definitely is evolving. There's no question. And very rapidly, I would even say. Yeah. But it's the negative polarity on our planet that's forcing that evolution. Because the negative polarity on our planet is getting very desperate for power, because they're seeing the awakening happening. Yeah. And they're like, how do we take these people over before they wake up too much to where it's too late? And we can't control them anymore. So we're seeing this desperation from the negative polarity, which wakes people up more. So it's all part of God's grand design, that the darkness catalyzes the light catalyzes the darkness. It's this amazing balance. But that is what third density is for, is they call it the choosing. This is the choosing ground. Like if you're listening to this podcast right now, your soul came here to play the choosing game, which is, which polarity does my soul want to be for the rest of my evolutionary journey? And the way that, so like the negative polarity actually can't progress past a certain point, because the negative polarity is based in illusion. And so Ra calls it the path of that which is not. And that which is not is separation. There is no separation. But the negative polarity, nonetheless, creates it in their mind and acts it out and tries to take power over others. And that happens all the way to the beginning of 6th density, Ra says. And then the negative polarity can't progress any further. And eventually they concede and say, okay, the positive polarity is the true polarity. And they reverse to the positive and finish their evolutionary journey. So like, even though they're not equals in that regard, like polarity is designed by God to be the mirror, right? If God is love, God is one, that's all God is, and all God can ever be. God is only good. There is no evil in God. The Bible says this. Of Course in Miracles says this. Every religion says this. Well, then how does that God come to know itself if it's the only being that exists? So it has to project a opposite from itself. It has to imagine, let's say, an opposite from itself, and then it has to interact with that opposite to know itself. So the negative polarity, although it's not real, it's an illusion, it's nevertheless a divine creation that allows God to know itself. So everything is equally valid from the law of one's perspective. Everything is serving the creator. And Ra even says it's impossible not to serve the creator. Because everything is really, if you think about it, everything is just data going up to the source. Right? Every experience you have is just data that God is learning and knowing itself through. So the law of one teaches a very like, the path is love and service to others. Even the negative path, we are not to judge them. We're not to fight them. We're to see them as our divine brothers and sisters, but they've chosen their path. And so we respect that. And we've chosen our path. And so we got to be true to our polarity, which means we can't give in to the plans of the negative and do whatever they say and let them take us over and stuff, because then we'd be abandoning our polarity. So it's this amazing balance where it's like, yeah, we're opposites and have the exact opposite intentions, but I love you and you're playing your part and it's all good. So I appreciate that aspect of the law of one very much.
That's amazing. And so challenging to the ego.
So challenging.
You know, and in A Course in Miracles too, as I was going through the workbook, I'm like, this is a part of me is dying inside. And I can feel it. Yeah, because and still just, see the perpetuation of like, oh my gosh, I have to love the person or love the, beings or communities that I'm feeling are wronging me. And yet that's perpetuating the us versus them. So really you'd say, if we want to live this work, the simplest thing is to return back to how do we see things through loving eyes? How do we see things through oneness? In our relationships, in our triggers, in our daily life. And for me, what that's looked like is I've done a lot of somatic work. And it's like, how do I get connected into my breath, into my body, into my heart? How do I open as love in this moment? Like over and over
Every
and
day.
over again. Yeah.
It's a practice.
It's a practice. It's a practice. Yeah. So beautiful. And so also you said that, so in the fourth density, I would assume that when we're returning into love, then there isn't the negative polarity, but you said it goes until sixth density. So what does that look like?
Yeah. So to graduate to the fourth density, you can graduate two ways, positive or negative. And this is where the quantum physics comes in that we opened with, is that Ra describes polarity, that it works exactly like in the quantum universe, in that every particle has to have a charge, positive or negative, before that particle can do work. The term is work in physics. And work means the ability to create change in the environment. So they say consciousness is identical to that, meaning we're all kind of like particles. We have to choose a charge. And then only after we choose a charge can we create change in the environment through consciousness. So you see like very advanced spiritual beings, sages, Jesus, performing miracles. Some sages are known to bilocate, teleport, levitate. There's all these, hundreds of sages have been said to have done many miracles like this. And it's because those are the people that chose a charge and they committed and graduated to the positive polarity. And so they begin to gain the powers of the positive polarity, healing, understanding people's thoughts, feeling their emotions, etc. So you can do that to the positive or to the negative. To the positive, it means you have to, they say, reach a 51% or greater heart activation or service to others orientation. And the way that I translate that is that, do you live at least 51% of your life genuinely from your heart? Meaning, do you actually feel love for people and do you feel connected and grateful 51% of the time or more? And, that's not necessarily an easy grade to reach. but nevertheless fully available to anybody that wants it. And I think we should all take a moment to give gratitude to Source for not making the requirement 100%.
Yeah.
Because we'd be here for a lot more lifetimes.
Yeah.
But this is, again, the beautiful part of the law of one, is that it explains why is this planet so freaking painful and difficult if the universe is bliss and oneness. And they say because in that third density where every soul has to choose a polarity, and you don't get out of this realm until you choose one, your soul reincarnates over and over again, tasting the darkness, tasting the light over and over until you're finally like, okay, I've tasted both enough. I choose the light. And then you finally commit to a spiritual path and you forgive people. You open your heart. You become humble. That's when the universe says, this soul is ready for the next density. So you kind of have to learn the lessons of the following density while you're in this one. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes complete sense. You're like clicking so many things in my brain right
now. It just clicks.
It really clicks. This makes so much sense to me.
Yep.
So basically our soul, if we are in a human body right now, so everyone listening to this has reached a certain point in their own evolution to now be a human.
Yes.
Okay.
So they've already been through first and second density.
Okay.
And probably many third density lifetimes.
Yes. So, and we don't remember because in every lifetime we don't remember. And then we go through the process of awakening or waking up.
It'd be like cheating to know what you're doing here, where you came from.
Okay.
You would know all the lessons you need to learn. You could cheat the game. The Source wants it to be a fully organic decision where no outside influences at all. And like God doesn't judge. If somebody wants to choose the dark path, they can. And God wants that to be a genuine choice. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Wow. There's so much I could say around that too.
I
Or
know
like
it.
more questions. I'm like, there's so many things. So you go through many, many lifetimes, and in these lifetimes, it sounds like maybe you could flip flop back and forth between I chose the dark, I chose the light, how does that work?
Yes, sort of.
Okay.
You can't flip in terms of like you've fully chosen the positive polarity. Now you can go choose the negative. It doesn't work like that. So, when you choose your polarity, it's because you know your choice. You're going to the light. Nothing's going to stop you. So you would never go back to the darkness at that point.
Right.
But the flipping does happen later in the sixth density to every single soul who chose the negative. They have to eventually concede oneness is the highest truth. And they reverse polarity to the positive.
Okay. Wow. So basically you're in each lifetime, you're so split that you haven't chosen. You're like kind of living some. Maybe.
Yes.
Okay. So
they call it the sinkhole of indifference between the positive and negative. They say most souls are still floundering in the sinkhole of indifference. They haven't chosen yet. The analogy I use for this is imagine third density, which is the realm we all live in now, is like, you're in the middle of the ocean treading water with millions of people in all directions. That's kind of what third density is like. It's like we're all kind of struggling, drowning, trying to keep our head above water. But some of the souls are like, I got this. I'm a good swimmer. I can do this all by myself. And they're not trying to find safety yet. Other souls that are getting tired are like, I think I'm going to drown. I better find safety. And they look, and off in the distance, there's a glowing, bright green, heart-shaped boat. And they're like, that looks nice. And then they look, and over on the other side of the ocean, far in the distance, there's this black pentagram-shaped boat with luminous clouds and stuff, ominous clouds. And the soul is like, which one looks better to me? Like, which one should I swim towards? And most souls, the law of one says about 90% of all souls in the universe choose the positive polarity. But you say, I like that green heart-shaped boat better than that one. And you swim in that direction. And you're getting tired and you're, losing breath. And you're like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Spiritual awakening. You're crying out for help. Help, help. And somebody on the boat sees you and throws you a life raft, and you grab onto it and they pull you on, and you're on the boat catching your breath, and they're like, you're safe, my brother, you're safe. And then they stand you up, you get your sea legs, and they're like, now grab a life raft and help other people.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing here is like save yourself first, which means cry out to God for help. The universe will throw you a raft. You're going to get the teachings you need. You're going to get the teachers you need, whatever it is. God, anyone who calls out to God will be answered. And it's just the humility it takes to cry out to God. That is how you begin your path towards the light. The other people in the ocean who are like, I don't need help. I'm a great swimmer. Eventually they're going to drown. And then they're going to just plop from the sky back into the ocean in a new body and do it all over again. And that's the picture you can imagine of third density, is like people falling from the sky, incarnating, people drowning, people swimming to the dark, people swimming to the light. And it's like, what are you going to do in this madness? You've got to make a choice. And it takes us a while to figure out that we have this important choice to make.
Wow. Your analogies are on point.
That one works, right?
That's so good. Okay, so
I do like analogies, I'll be honest.
It's great. And because it makes it so like applicable and understandable. Like, yes, like
you gotta
that's
see it. You've got to see it.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching today's video. I hope that you were truly blessed by it. And I wanted to let you know that I'm really excited to now be partnering with an amazing conscious supplement company called ORGANIFI. A lot of you know that I'm also passionate about holistic health and nutrition, and ORGANIFI has been a staple in my daily health routine for a very long time. They make the most delicious, organic, and high-quality superfood products that I've ever come across. And as you know, a healthy body is a great benefit for spiritual growth, because the health of your body directly translates to the health of your mind. Everything is connected. So feeding your body with high vibrational superfoods straight from the earth is one of the best ways to create that environment for a healthy mind. But getting all the superfoods that your body needs in one day can admittedly be a little bit tough. And that is where ORGANIFI can add a ton of value to your life. I personally start every day off with green, which is ORGANIFI's really delicious blend of 11 superfoods like ashwagandha, chlorella, and moringa. And then in the middle of the day, I'll usually have a scoop of red, which is a delicious energy blend full of 13 adaptogens and antioxidants from berries to recharge your mind and body with a delicious blend of organic superfoods. Your body is an amazing organic machine, but it needs the right fuel and signals to function at its best. And red is full of adaptogens sourced from organic herbs and medicinal mushrooms. And these are compounds that balance hormones, prime your energy pathways, and alleviate stress. So instead of crushing your adrenal system with huge doses of caffeine every day, adaptogens work with your body and give you natural, sustained energy all throughout the day. What's most important to me though about ORGANIFI is the way that they go above and beyond to ensure the cleanest and purest ingredients in all of their products. They are USDA certified organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, certified glyphosate-free, and absolutely zero fillers. So I never go anywhere without ORGANIFI, and I never miss a day without taking it. And ORGANIFI is offering a super generous discount of 20% off of your entire order when you use the coupon code Abke at checkout. So if you want to upgrade your health regimen with ORGANIFI, you can click on the link in the description box below to learn more about all the amazing products that they offer. And I promise you that your mind and your body are going to thank you for it.